what are we doing here?
What are we doing now? We're doing our Peacekeepers Walk throughout the Glencrest community. This is a community where we have to make a difference ourselves. And once a week, we're going to walk the entire community, just to show people in the community our presence, and just to make sure everything is all right. Because as you can see, this is a very nice community. It really is. We don't want to see it get torn down.
Is this the first initial walk, or have there been others?
Well, we do safe passage on Tuesdays and Thursdays over here.
And describe that.
Okay, safe passages, this is like a 2.2-mile walk where we walk by 3 elementary schools and 1 high school, meeting and greeting the kids as well as adults as we walk, and just being kind, and just once again making our presence felt. Because more oftentimes than not, when trouble do arise, trouble don't have no time. So when trouble does arise, more oftentimes when it does arise, there's not many people there. But if we are here in full mass, or just a few of us walking, and someone may see us, they may be thinking about doing something that's negative. They'll probably change their mind.
My name's Edward King, and I'm a member of the National Homecomers Edward.
My name is Rickey Bryant, and I'm a community change agent for National Homecomers.
Edward King, what is your story?
A lot of tragedy and trauma, dysfunction, in and out of the system for over 32 years. My mother's been taken away from me. She was shot and killed, and my father, he elected to use heroin for 42 years, and just antisocial behavior all throughout my young adult life, all the way into my 30s. I took a life, and God seemed fit to take my time back. I had a 40-year sentence. I served 10 years on it, went back to court, and they threw out 30 years, gave me time served on 10, and sent me home. And through that, I've elected to give life through what I do as a national homecomer, and that is provide alternatives, build relationships, and be the example of what I would like to see in other people.
So, Mr. Bryant, what's your story, and how did you end up in prison?
Well, basically, you can call it through peer pressure if you look at it from those point of views, because originally I came from Portland, Oregon, and I didn't really know anyone, so I kind of fit in somewhere as a guy that was new in the city. And from that point, kind of graduated, and again, through peer pressure, and I hooked up with a friend of mine's brother, and he got into a little scuffle at the club, and before you know it, a shooting occurred. And I'm living by the code of the streets at the time, that you don't tell, you don't snitch. So if you don't, and you're with the person, by law, you get the exact same thing that person gets, even though you're not the trigger man or anything of that nature. But if you want to hold your mouth shut and all that kind of stuff, and thinking that he's going to be a buddy or something that's going to take his own weight and all that, it doesn't happen that way, And by you not being what they call a rat or a snitch or anything like that, then you deal with the consequences of it. And the consequences of it for me was 32 straight years. And pretty much I end up giving my life away, just because I kept my mouth shut for somebody that really didn't care. Because if they didn't care, they would have spoke up themselves. So, yeah.
has prison affected your family?
Well, I really never had I don't come from a big family, and my family is very fragmented as it relates to that, because I am the youngest, but I'm also the nucleus of the family. So my absence has, done a lot of hurt to for the most part, my grandmother. But my brothers, they're older, and we don't necessarily have the relationship we had when we were kids. So we're learning to move past that absence, or they say abandonment, that I've chosen to live this particular life, that I abandoned them. And so we're moving. We're gradually getting back that solidarity.
A lot of us individuals didn't realize that the fact that we were being selfish by creating such bad atmosphere in our neighborhoods and things of that nature. So by us going out thinking that we can make fast money and do all these negative things in our community, we're being selfish people, and therefore we are hurting our families and friends and loved ones because of our selfishness. It was basically not so much of how it affected them, is how we affected them, and the fact of being selfish and basically letting them down, and imprisoning them, actually. Because your mom has to come and see you. She's had to spend money taking out the mouths of your siblings, things of that nature. You don't realize how selfish you are being by creating such an atmosphere to get yourself incarcerated and then making your family pay for you. So that's what we do, whether we realize it or not. So as far as it affecting my family, it's because of how we made them, or how we imprisoned them also, basically. We had to make them come see us. We had to, because they love you, and they're gonna come see you, and they want to put money on your books. That same money on your book could have fed your little brother, your little sister. Well, basically it was like this. I was kind of pushed out, and I was pushed out without a plan because I wanted to do the halfway house for 6 months. Unfortunately, the parole papers and things of that nature didn't come through until like 2 months prior to my release date. I got 2 months in the halfway house. Didn't have a chance to really get myself together. I started out with a temporary job from the halfway house, which carried me over, which is a good thing, but it wasn't really paying the bills. I didn't have any housing. I was actually, when I left the halfway house after those 2 months, I was actually paroled to a shelter. And from that point, through a friend of mine, I was allowed to stay there and at their home, and which was a great support system right there. But the best support system, I would say, was the National Homecomers, because it gave me a sense of purpose. A lot of people come out of jail, they feel like, what am I going to do? What am I worth out here? And a lot of them end up feeling like that, turn back to crime. When, all they need is to feel like they belong to something or someone, to feel like they have a purpose in life. And that's what National Homecomers did for me. It gave me a purpose. Although before I came out, I had the heart to not want to see any young adults or kids or teens go through the tragedies that I went through while I incarcerated, or just to be incarcerated, period. It's one of the worst things that could ever happen to a human being. And from that point, when I got a phone call from a guy that was incarcerated with me, which by name was Elvin Johnson, to come to this meeting, to be a part of this meeting. And I met Mr. Watkins through him, and all of us were at this meeting. As I said, it was probably about 20 guys there at that time. And by us all having a like-minded as far as helping and doing something good for the community, trying to give back to the community, we all came to a conclusion that, you know, we have to, you know, stop the talk and start some action. So we was all like-minded in that fashion, so we just started doing it. We just went at it.
Describe your initial transition when you left prison and you re-entered back into society, and how did the National Homecomers Academy help with that transition?
Well, I really didn't meet the Homecomers immediately. It was a process. I was in the halfway house, and I was fighting the halfway house culture. It's very dysfunctional and unhealthy over there, yet they tell you they want to assist you make a smooth transition. And it's so ambiguous, and they tell you to do something, but they don't do what they tell you to do. You know, send you on a job interview at 10 o'clock. Who does that? You know, but they don't come to work till 9, 10 o'clock. And it sends a very confusing message. So I had to fight with that culture over there. And eventually, they put me on home confinement. And that's where I came in contact with the Homecomers. Matter of fact, I think it was at, I spoke at Marshall Heights Community Center on a re-entry issue. And I had the luxury of meeting a guy who knew Curtis. And I didn't follow up because I thought it was the same old as far as programs go, until I went to another CJCC conference where I was a speaker, and a guy introduced me to Curtis' information again. Then I took the liberty of calling Curtis, setting up a meeting, and once we talked, it was magical.
This area that we're in right now is going to be the Glencrest Community Garden. This area back here is going to be cleared out. We're going to grow vegetables and things that people can eat that are grown from their hands. And the other thing is that we're going to sell produce also right in this area right here. So it's going to be a good thing. The community can grow something and sell something on the same tip, but it's legal. Yeah. We got to make a difference house over there, so we're trying to be more active in the community. Oh, we know. Why we here? Yeah, we here. Well, matter of fact, so far we have 54 kids who signed up to come in the house.
Can you tell me about the center? Where are we? What's this?
Well, this is the Make a Difference house. Mm-hmm. Make a Difference house is a house for this community in Glencrest that hopefully we can do just that. We can help bring the community together. You know, you have those that are homeowners here and those that are renters. And, you know, it kind of clashes in between because some homeowners feel like the renters don't care and, you know, and things of that nature, but they're all in the same neighborhood, you know, and that's what counts, you know, that all the kids get along together, all the adults get along together, and the Make a Difference house is a house where all of them can come together, those kids, those parents, you know, and communicate with one another, you know, and as far as the kids are concerned, you know, we have a lot of activities for them. We're going to try to incorporate things of educating them. We have a study room for them. We're in the process of looking for donations of GED books and things of that nature so we can help them grow mentally. As far as the adults, we want them to be able to participate and help in the community and in the house itself, you know, to volunteer, you know, to get to know one another, you know, to interact with one another, things like that. So I think Make a Difference house plays a big role in this community as far as bringing people together, you know, whether young or old, you know, and that's how I see it, you know. I see it as a focal point for everybody to come together, you know, like who knows? You know, we might have a little small utopia here. This room here is actually our office for the staff here, and this is our game closet for kids we allow in from 6 on up to young adults. We have a game closet with toys and games of all sorts. We'll probably get more later, but this is a start for us. If we like to move on just a little, we have here our study room. This is a quiet zone for us, where you come in and you can study, work on your homework, things of that nature. If you just choose to read, meditate. We hope again to get some books, things for like TV, Black history, things of that nature. You know, so kids come in and just read, have a relaxed time to study, the schoolwork done, things of that nature, all those kind of things. And we offer, guys, if they need help, kids need help, then we offer a little tutor service ourselves too. We try to tutor them and give them some kind of insight too. Here, this is a game room where we have the Wii game for the kids to interact and play. As you can see, you ready for baseball. Actually, I myself, I'm a bit challenged at these games. I'm back new at the street, so everything's kind of new to me. So I look for them to show me how to play things like this. I would appreciate you teach me how to play something. Is that right? It's a foul ball. Well, it's just like you actually playing it, huh? I mean, actually in the game, huh? Wow. Well, this is my first interaction with this.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
I can believe that, and I see that you can get your exercise on with this too. Huh? That's pretty good too. All right, so. Well, we're moving down to the next floor. So, on this floor here, we basically have computers for kids to get on, to check for whatever educational things that they look up, if they want to research something or things of that nature. We encourage them to get on there. Young adults, we encourage to get on and try to search for jobs in the job market and things like that. Or send in their resumes if they have one electronically, things of that nature. So it's pretty much they get the off the internet. With service here. Have kids, for the younger ones. So they can just interact and get familiar with the computer aspects of things. Pretty much have a little fun with it. And on our next level, of course, as a staff, interacts with everybody that comes in, everybody signs in and registers their names and stuff. And we have another thing we have is pictures of all the kids in the neighborhood that come in and sign in, so we can keep track of everybody in the house. We want to have a safe environment. We don't want a lot of outsiders coming in trying to sneak in and things of that nature. So we pretty much have
should have a complete medical.
People that already get signed in, we have that picture taken in, and we know who's who and who's in the house at one time. for the safety of the kids.
What's that behind you?
This is our schedule, different activities that we might have on particular days. We might have a video or youth council or parent meeting or things of that nature. So we mark this down on the board and let them know what we have scheduled for that particular day. Yeah, those is like a planning board. That we have to make sure that we have a good schedule going on. Things that's happening, projects. And we go on to our next level. On this level, we have room where we have meetings for the community, we show movies once a week for kids on movie nights. We have room for like we have classes or youth counseling, things of that nature. All those kind of activities that we have that might be discussing. Things that we're going to do in the neighborhood, things of that nature, that we can bring the parents together and have parent meetings and things of that nature here. And again, we have, like I said, we have movie night, so that people can come in and get to watch movies here that night.
Home rep tutoring.
Yeah, but we did that upstairs in the quiet room. This room here, where we get most of our activities. We get most of our activity here because this is a game room also. More game. You have a little arcade basketball set up. You have arcade, air hockey. We hope to get a few more things in for them to come in and play with like that. We have a small basketball court. We haven't set it up yet. Just have the room set up, things of that nature. But we're not young stage right now, but we're getting there. You know. But right now, they really like this basketball, air hockey, pretty much. So we try to keep them interactive and another thing, it teaches a lot of respect for one another. So that they know that turns need to be taken, things like that, so they understand that work with one another and without arguments and disagreements and things like that, so they pretty much, you can have, it's basically like you can have competition without arguments and fighting over issues and things like that. Just try to teach that to them. You can always agree to disagree.
One of the boys was on top of the other boy, and he had him beat. And I didn't put my hand on him, but I talked. I just made notes. I made him feel my presence, and then I told him, all right, short, you can back up off. You done done what you had to do, man. Ain't no sense you catch no murder brief. You don't want to go to jail. Then when I tell him how many days I was locked up, see, that's one of the most powerful things about me actually being incarcerated for 31 years and 10 months. See, because I don't generally tell you that I was locked up 31 years and 10 months. I hit you with the days. Or I tell you about the weeks. If I tell you that I was behind that 45-foot wall for 1,552 weeks, then your little mind got to start trying to figure out what weeks. 1,500 weeks? No, that's a long time. As well as the days, 11,640 days. See, it'll make you slow down and make you start thinking. See, because in today's terminology, actually, when people commit crimes now, I told y'all earlier that they're getting life sentences. See, so, you got to really be careful what you wish for out here, because once you actually get it, all bets are off. There are a lot of kids right today that are behind that 45-foot wall who are serving life sentences, and they're wishing for a second chance at life. It took me over 1 billion seconds over 16 million minutes to get my second chance. I'm making the best of it.
I hear that.
See, that's what this is all. Like I say, just with our mere presence being out here, people seeing this and they, okay. It's only a matter of time before they're going to start drawing closer to us.
In your own words, define the National Homecomers Academy and explain to me how it's benefited you as an individual, if it's benefited you.
Well, as I was explaining in the car, we are our own therapists, you know, and these brothers and myself, we all share that experience. And we also come from the surrenderance perspective where it relates to the Creator, because we've had all reached the point where it was about converting our lives, changing that old to something new and being proactive in it versus saying we're going to do something, we get out and do it. It's not political and it's not financially motivated. I think it's, for the most part, it's God-driven or Spirit-driven, and that's what I get out of it. Because no matter what I go through, I can pick that phone up and call one of these guys, and they can do the same with me, and whatever our anxiety, fear, frustration is, it's a voice there that has been through the experience of being incarcerated and can give you some encouraging words, inspiration, or just, you know, edify you. That's what I get from it. Prior to being a homecomer, I did a lot of things on my own, just because I wanted to prove the system wrong as it relates to the value of men coming out of prison. But when I met these brothers, it magnified. So I elected as a national homecomer to go back to the group home that I was in 27 years ago. I went back and presented them what the National Homecomers Academy was about and what we would like to do with youth. Since that time, we've been able to go to this group home every Monday and deal with youth. We've had the luxury of taking them to the Tavis Smiley I Am African American exhibit. I also do a group with the Men's Transitional House at Federal City. And wherever there's a particular need, I'm there.
What are some personal goals that you would like to achieve through NHA?
One, I don't want to fall back to, I don't want to fall victim to recidivism. And, well, I guess a personal goal of mine is championing the cause of the way in which people view us. That's stigma. I don't like the stigma. And also, personal goal is that I want to change the view of work in the eyes of the probation officer and people who think that we're not working. This is an actual job. And it's an emotionally, spiritually taxing job at times, but it's something that needs to be done. And that's where the therapy comes from. As well as I share, I receive. I build relationships. And that's what we're about at the end of the day. Building those relationships and having an opportunity to possibly change the mentality and culture of the particular people that we deal with.